Hello, companions!
Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Davis, host of the podcast Three Fries Short and a producer here at The Companion. I'm so excited to be hanging out with today's guest of honor and TikTok cooking tip sensation. I don't know why I made that so hard on myself to say, Jewel Staite. I've got a few things to share before we dive in. Over the last year, we've realized the value of The Companion are these events. They bring us together, and through them, we end up making friendships. And they are the highlight of our week, our month, and even our year sometimes. So the goal for us at The Companion is that if you like the live stream, become a paid member and we'll see you at every single one as part of your membership. I'd love nothing more than to see you at the next one. If you've been a Companion member for long, expect a change of pace coming up. Our plan is to hold one of our events every 2 weeks or so, and sometimes even sooner. In fact, our next event will be Stargate Celebration, taking place next week with co-creator Brad Wright. We will send out the details for that today. For those of you who have signed up for the VIP Green Room Cooking class with Jewel, it'll take place right after this event. For the rest of our members, because you told us you value the community events so much, we'll also be hosting a social hour you can attend immediately following this event, so you can continue the conversation after this AMA. Lastly, we can't thank you enough for being a member and part of this community. It's your enthusiasm and supportiveness of not just us, but each other that makes this community amazing. Our guest today holds a diverse portfolio of talents that have left an indelible mark on screens, big and small. Beyond her notable career, Jewel's personal ties to Hawaii stand out. With grandparents who called the islands home, her fond memories from there have shaped many of her passions off-screen. I know when we started planning this event and talking about who she wanted it to benefit, Jewel immediately chose wildfire relief. She even extended that from Lahaina to British Columbia, another place she is rooted to and which has seen its own share of destructive wildfires this year. As we chat with her today, expect insights into her journey, her passions, and her tastes, literally. Food is, after all, a huge part of what she loves to share with the world. Everyone, please welcome Jewel Staite. Jewel, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm reading the comments here as you were speaking that fabulous intro. Thanks for that.
Absolutely.
There's people in New Zealand, it looks like, and all over the place. So, thanks for spending your Sunday morning in New Zealand with us. That's pretty incredible.
It's wonderful.
I love the internet, man. See, this is why I love the internet.
Absolutely. Same. Yeah, The Companion has a wonderful we have members from all over the place. It's pretty wild. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's so cool.
So I know when we first started crafting the event, it was originally just going to be a cooking class.
Yeah.
And then we decided, hey, can we reach more people, add a live stream element? And it was your idea to do this, what we call it, Ask Me Almost Anything, but a non-work AMA. So what led to you to suggest that, and what makes that idea exciting to you as someone who has been on many panels at many conventions and in many, many interviews?
Well, it's interesting because since this little strike has begun and we're forbidden from talking about work and publicizing anything coming up, which is sometimes a little frustrating, we've been doing conventions still, not many, but a couple. And the panels are super different because we are so used to doing the panels at these conventions and being asked all about the shows, which is great. It's super fun. We have our answers at the ready, if that makes sense. We know kind of what the questions are going to be, and it comes as a surprise whenever we're asked something that we weren't expecting. It makes you go, oh, wait, hang on, I got to think about this one. But you can't go on autopilot. But these panels have been actually really fun because we're just talking about life and ourselves. And I'm sitting with cast members that I have known for 20 plus years and learning things about them that I didn't know, right? I did a Firefly panel with Sean and Gina, and someone asked us something so random, right? The questions were hilarious and so random, which I love, by the way. The more random, the better. And we were looking at each other going, really? That's how you would answer that? And it was so much fun. So I thought this would be a nice way to have a Q&A that is maybe a little off the cuff and more fun.
I love it. I love it. I know myself and probably a lot of people out there who do frequent conventions. I've found it really refreshing too, just to be able to hear different answers and different questions. It's been kind of the silver lining, I guess, for an otherwise frustrating situation. So
I completely agree. It's really fun.
awesome. Everyone out there, with the rules of this AMAA, Ask Me Almost Anything in mind,
I like that.
you can totally start commenting your questions right now. I've got some present video questions that we're going to show, but anytime you want to, drop those questions in the comments. I have my co-fry Sarah on the back end here who's going to be combining them for us and getting them ready to go. So anytime you come up with something, maybe these videos will inspire you a little bit too, go ahead and drop them in the comments for us because we want to hear those really creative questions. So without further ado, I will play your first video question, Jewel.
Sweet.
Hi, Jewel. My name is Sam. My pronouns are they, them. I wish I could join your live stream, but unfortunately I'm a paramedic and I work every Saturday. So instead I'm going to be submitting this video question for you. My question to you is, why did you decide to take the proceeds from these live streams and apply them to wildfire efforts? I think that's a really awesome endeavor. And as a first responder, I really appreciate that. Also, Rebecca has my TikTok handle. If you wanted to follow me back, that'd be really cool.
Aw. Okay, so for a couple of reasons, I have a lot of history in Maui, Lahaina in particular. My grandparents lived there for 25 years. My dad was a maintenance man at a couple of resorts, Puamana being one of them, and Napili Shores and the Maui Inn. And we used to live at the Maui Inn, which is a tiny little hotel in Napili. My grandparents managed it, and we were there for 4 years. And we would go back every year, every summer, until my grandparents retired and left the island. I had this dream to be able to take my mom back there, just us. My dad has since passed, to spread some of my dad's ashes in and around the Pioneer Inn, which was his little watering hole, and just be together and spend some time there, and just us. And we did that. We did that in April, and I'm so glad we did, because of course, not long after that, Lahaina sadly burned to the ground, and there's really
whole thing,
not much left, including the Pioneer Inn. So I very much wanted to do something to help. This came along at the perfect opportunity. And then unfortunately, we go through this every year in BC, where I live. There was a whole string of wildfires in Kelowna, which were the worst we've seen so far. So I wanted to divvy up the proceeds 50-50 style to the two places I call home. So that's why.
That's wonderful. It's just, I mean, remembering when that happened in Lahaina, just the news was just, I had never seen anything like that before. It was just insane, incredible, in the worst way. So we really appreciate. We're very happy that we could do it for you too.
It feels not real. It's a very strange thing to see, and going back there the next time we do go back is going to be tough, because there's just a lot of history, a lot of memory. I think some people they view Lahaina as a tourist town, right? It's a tourist destination, but it's so much more than that to the Hawaiian people. They have so much history there, and it's so very important to them, that's what made me the saddest of all, because I know how much it means to them. So hopefully they can preserve what they can and rebuild it in the proper way, and divvy up the funds that they're getting to making it hopefully what it was.
Absolutely. If anyone out there, I know we have members who redeem for free tickets. If you do want to give to what we're giving to this wildfire relief, you're welcome to go on to jointhegreenroom.com and just buy a live stream ticket, because I'll leave it up, and any ticket purchase is going to be going towards the relief efforts. So just so everyone knows out there.
Yeah.
All right. Your next person is a super fan and an original companion member. Actually, he was also the first person to submit a video question.
Oh,
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Hey, Jewel, Brad right here. We've talked a lot about tasting menus over the years. What is your favorite, best dining experience in Hawaii, specifically Maui? Maybe even a tasting menu.
Hey, Brad, that's really, really hard. Like, he knew he was going to stump me with this. There's a few restaurants I love in Maui that I have to visit whenever I'm there. I had an amazing meal at Merriman's in Kapalua. They also have the most beautiful sunset view on the whole island, if you're asking me.
Ooh.
It's glorious. I would say that's the top. I also love Sansei. Sansei is this little Japanese hole in the wall. There's two now, actually. There's one in Wailea, and then there's the one I love, which is in Kapalua, because I always stay in West Maui. And they have the best, freshest, most amazing sushi ever. And little secret that the locals know about, there's karaoke there a couple of nights a week.
Perfect.
If you past 10 p.m.
You got to be in the know to stay
You gotta
past,
be-
and then it happens.
You gotta be in the know. Yeah, but it's a pretty good time.
I love that. I love a good hole in the wall sort of like
Me too.
delicious restaurant.
The food's outrageous. It's so good. And there's a lineup out the door, because I don't think they take reservations. Like, you just gotta, line up and wait, but it's worth it. It's so good.
I
I
love it.
want it now.
Oh, I would love some delicious sushi right now too.
Me
actually.
too.
Okay, well, that was a great surprise guest.
It was.
Our second video entry, or our third, I guess, technically, is from another super fan of yours named Susan.
Hi, Jewel. I would like to know, what is your favorite memory of your years spent in Maui?
I love Susan. Susan is our showrunner on Family Law, and one of my favorite people and the best boss I've ever had. Truly, she's just the kindest and most compassionate person. Anyway, my favorite memories in Maui, I mean, it's cheesy, but I have to do it every time I'm there. I go to the old Lahaina Luau. It's the best luau.
Okay.
The food is insane. The show is incredible. So I have done that many, many, many times. But, my very favorite memory, I would say, I took my first steps when I was just a wee babe on Napili Beach. And when our son was, I think, just over a year, we took him to Maui for Christmas. And he was toddling along that same beach. And I took a picture of him walking along that same stretch. And we have a picture of me doing the same thing. And for me, it was just this full circle kind of moment, and was very special to me. And I love that photo. So that's
amazing. So you say you have a photo of you at that same strip?
Yeah.
Are they near each other? Like do you have them displayed?
No, they're nowhere in this room. My family is here, so I'm hiding. I'm hiding in the guest room, because I'm I thought I was planning ahead, you see. And it turns out all activities are canceled this weekend because it's Canadian Thanksgiving. So the boy has nothing to do, and he's downstairs with an iPad while I do this before they leave, hopefully, to go bowling before I start cooking in the kitchen.
Goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, this is me just hiding.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, though.
Thanks. It's just going to be a cooking frenzy.
I love it.
Today. I'm going to cook all day tomorrow, but I love it.
Perfect. All right. Everyone, I see a lot of comment activity. That's awesome. So just make sure you're getting your questions in as we go through. I've got some more videos for you, though. Let's look at the next one.
Hi, this is Emily from Cincinnati. I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt in support of Lahaina. First of all, I want to thank you for entertaining us so well over the years. But I also want to thank you for your Happy Opu recipes and your Tea Runners Tea Company, which have both gotten us through some very hard years recently. So thank you for that. This is the Jewel Staite tea corner in our kitchen. We have multiple Tea Runners teas. We have a frankly life-saving electric tea kettle with preset tea settings. And then the pineapple has even more Tea Runners teas because frankly, I have a problem. But my question for you is twofold. First of all, I've been taking care of parents who aren't always well. And I've kind of exhausted our comfort food recipes, more than exhausted probably. So I was wondering, what are your family's go-to recipes for when they're not feeling well? And then secondly, you have such beautiful skin. I was wondering if you had any tips for stressed out, acne prone, and sensitive skin. That's it. Thank you.
Emily, I love you so much for so many reasons. Oh my God. The tea corner. Oh, we have the same problem. Okay. Comfort food wise, I feel like all I want when I'm not feeling well is carbs. Pasta. That's what I want. I want all of it. I actually want it when I'm not sick though, too. So that doesn't really, just a disclaimer there. So yeah, I think we do a lot of pasta when we're like, don't you just want a cheesy, yummy, naughty meal? And that's what we do. Although roast chicken is a really popular one in this house. Those boys love roast chicken. We do a lot of that, and it's very easy. I do it in one pan. I get the potatoes and the veggies underneath, and I plop the chicken on top, and I throw it in a 450-degree oven, and in an hour, dinner is ready, which you gotta love. Yes. Skincare-wise, you're so sweet. I have a friend a local girl named Melissa Baker. She's a magician, and she has her own line of skincare, and it's called Layers. So you can Google Melissa Baker faces, and all of her products will come up on her website, and they're very well priced and amazing. I will say I got addicted because of Sean Marr. He's an enabler in a lot of ways. Sean and I did Firefly together, and we've been BFFs ever since. We just went to Iceland for a convention, and he got me turned on to this Icelandic skincare company called Blue Lagoon. And he said, let's look in the airport at the duty free, because I bet you it's cheaper here because we're in Iceland. So let's do that. So we did. And it was a lot cheaper. So I bought a bunch of the little trial sizes. Mm-hmm. And it's just the best skincare line ever. And it's so expensive that I just can't bring myself to buy the full size because it's
that expensive.
Yeah. Like I need an Icelandic mole basically to help me and send me my skincare because it's crazy good. It's crazy good, but it's called
Blue Lagoon, you said, right?
It's really good, but like I'm turning anybody onto it because
fair.
It's outrageous.
Speaking of Iceland, that rolls right decently into this next video. So
right. Love it.
You may recognize this person from Iceland. So.
Oh boy.
Hello, Jewel. It's Polly, your best buddy. How's it going, my friend? It's amazing that you're doing this for the people of Lahaina. I know how near and dear that places to your heart. So when they asked me, hey, can you do as a favor and send a question in for Jewel? I'm like, of course, my best buddy. So they asked me, what can you ask Jewel Staite? And I thought, I don't know, there's so much. I mean, we traveled all over the world together and had so many great meals and laughs, to be honest with you. Just amazing. But one burning question I do have, and I've been meaning to ask you this for quite a while now, so this is a great platform for it, but you know, it just it drives me crazy. I just want to know one thing. Are you ready for it? Have you watched The Witch's Kitchen? Have you watched The Witch's Kitchen? Have you?
Oh, gotta be a part of it, eh? Just has to be a part of it.
That's Paul for you.
Yeah, he can't help it. He can't help it. Paul's one of my best friends. I thought he was going to ask me, why can't you answer the phone when I call you? He's one of those phone people. I don't know if you know those people where if they text you and you text them back, they immediately call you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, look, no, just because I can answer the text doesn't mean I can talk to you on the phone right now. And then he gets upset with me when I don't pick up, and he leaves me a moody voicemail.
That's hilarious.
What best friends are for.
So actually, to bounce off of his video there, can you tell us about your trip to Iceland recently? How was it?
It was, it was short because it came right after Dragon Con. I had been away for 4 days doing Dragon Con, which, Rebecca, is insanity. It's the biggest fan run convention in North America, and it's wild 4 days. It's like going to Burning Man. You come home and you're like, whoa, what was that? Like, you need to detox, and
it's like a fever dream.
Yeah, really, please, everyone, just leave me alone. And then I unpacked and repacked and went to Iceland. So it was wild. We were running on no sleep, and hit the ground running. Landed on Friday and worked Saturday, Sunday at the convention. And we managed to do a tour day on Monday. So we got to see as much as we possibly could see of Iceland, which is very beautiful. The people are super lovely. The food was amazing too, which was incredible. We got to go to one of the lagoons. We went to the Sky Lagoon and did a little spa action for the afternoon. And it was really, really great. And then I had to rush home because my son had his first day of school, and I wanted to be there for that and not miss too much of his first couple of weeks of school. So yeah, the convention weekends are tough, right? Because people are like, wow, you're traveling all over the place, and you get, it's not a vacation. It's like, it's so fast and furious that sometimes you feel like you didn't get to see anything at all. I've been to lots of places, but it's very rare that I can take on days before or after to actually travel and see all that I want to see.
Yeah.
So when I get to it, it's really lovely, but it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to plan for,
For sure.
It's beautiful. And then skincare is great. If you're
the sights are beautiful. The skincare is wonderful. It's like, are we sponsored by Iceland? Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
basically. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right. I have another video for you. I think I have maybe 2 more. So let's look at this one.
Hi, Jewel. I wanted to ask, what is your favorite comfort food to make? And is it your favorite comfort food to eat? Because I know my favorite comfort food to make is blueberry cobbler, because it's just so relaxing to make from scratch for me. But if I'm just looking for a comfort food to eat, it's cookies. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, that's a good question, because, when I was talking about the roast chicken thing and these guys that I live with always wanting the roast chicken, I don't love making it because I think the cleanup is annoying. Because I can't throw away the chicken without making a stock because it's a waste. So do that, and it just like there's grease everywhere, and it just goes on. And so it's actually not one of my favorite things to make. I like eating it at someone else's house. Right?
That's the key. Yeah.
Yeah. I went through this phase. This is not for everybody. I understand that. Where I was addicted to tuna melts. I don't know why. It's just, I think because my dad used to make a lot of tuna melts for me after school when I was a kid. And so it's a comfort food thing for me. And sometimes when I've been working all day on set, and I come home and I'm hungry, but I'm tired and I'm too tired to cook. And I know I just have to go to bed right away because I got to get up at 5 a.m. to work all over again the next day. A tuna melt is the perfect thing. And my husband knows this now. So he just has one ready to go. Like if I'm really tired, I'm in the car, I'm like, I'll be home in 15 minutes. And he's like, tuna melt? I'm like, please. It's just one of those weird things about me that he accepts. It's a long list of weird things.
It's good to have a spouse like that, though, for sure.
It is. It's important.
All right. Last video question. So again, everybody, I know I've got some of these questions, so keep them coming. And I'm going to play this last video, and then we're going to hop into some live Q&A. So
sweet.
Hi, Jewel. First-time questioner, long-time fan. I have a question about your process. Now, you have a beautiful career of intimate, emotional, sometimes intense scenes. And always the question for the actor is, how do you get there? Are you one of those people that sit and stew in it all day and just, whisper to yourself, I just want my baby back, just all day, and to other people? Or do you have another way of going about it? What's your method? Bye.
Oh my God. That's Zach Smaydu. He plays my brother on Family Law, and he's one of my best friends in the whole world. And he's going to be at my house tomorrow, actually, for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
You better remember that dessert I told him to bring. The process, he's so funny because he knows what my process is, which is not much of one. I think, being a method actor is, if that's what you need to do, you go right on ahead and do it. For me, it's very important to leave work at work and go home at the end of the day and resume life as usual. I think it's healthier for me. So my process is to just be prepared, to just know the dialogue, to be well rested if I can be, and yeah, just feel as though I know the dialogue well enough that whatever is thrown at me in the moment can be organic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Hopkins, I think, said that he had that tip. He said that in an interview I remember a long time ago. As long as you know the dialogue really, really well, that's kind of all you need, because then you can just live in the moment and react how you would react. Tell the truth, basically, right? That's all
Right.
it is be in the moment and tell the truth. If there's like a super emotional something happening that day, then I will be a quieter person probably, and a little more to myself until that scene is over, and then I'll breathe a sigh of relief and be glad it's behind me. But yeah, for the most part, I just like to have a good time, and I love working with people that also like to have a good time, because it's sort of what it's all about, right? It doesn't need to be so serious.
I would hope so. Have you ever had one of those super serious scenes though that like has it stuck with you longer, or you've had to like do some self-care or something to like feel better?
Sure. I mean, there's certain projects where you spend the whole time crying, right? Mm-hmm. And it's awful because it's exhausting. But that's what it is. That's what you take home. It's just the sheer exhaustion in your body, because your body doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know what's pretend and what's not. You get to a state like that, you work yourself up into a state like that, and it's really stressful. It's stressful on your body. So if anything, I'm just, more tired than usual and more burnt out. But yeah, I try not to do too many of those types of projects anymore.
I think that's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to hop into a live Q&A segment? I have a little video for the live Q&A. Let's watch it. Shout out to Tommy for the little inserts.
Very good. Very
I'm
good.
sorry, Tommy, I forgot the first one. All right. He's just going to be shaking his fists at me.
He is.
All right. Well, first question from Laura T is, what's your worst cooking fail?
Oh, good one. Oh, girl, I have many. A lot of what I have learned is just through good old-fashioned trial and error. And I remember doing cookies. I did a cookie recipe. I had a really big craving for cookies. This was years ago. And they just, I don't know what happened, but they came out so terribly. And I was so mad about it that I ate them anyway. Like, I was just so frustrated that I forced myself to eat them regardless. But yeah, baking and I have a love-hate relationship. I think that's why I don't do a lot of baking. Although when something turns out, I'm just so ecstatic that it went my way, that it just feels like a true win for me. But baking's hard because you have to measure. And I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, but I'm not a big old fan of measuring. So yeah. It's a good question though.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to fail. You have to fail. That's how you learn.
I remember my mom was taking a chicken pie over to somebody who was ill, and she accidentally put sugar instead of salt. And
Oh,
her poor friend was just like, "It's so good." But
yum. What's wrong with this pie? That is funny.
Yep. All right, next question from Matt is, if you hadn't become an actress, heaven forbid, what is one career you would have loved to have gotten into? Any secret passions?
Probably something to do with food. Honestly, I probably would have gone to culinary school, I would imagine. I think that's my first passion. The film business, the entertainment business found me. I started when I was so young that it was just kind of one of those weird things that I just kept booking work, thankfully, knock on wood. I don't think that's real wood. And I just kept going. So it was sort of by default that I did what I did, and I'm still doing what I'm doing. I love what I do. I definitely love what I do. I get a rush out of it when it's the perfect, scenario of working with amazing people who are really supportive and work just like you do and have lots of fun. And you get to do a scene in that environment is a beautiful thing. But I'm very passionate about food, and I always have been. And my parents are like, I don't know where that comes from. We don't know why you're so food obsessed. And I'll tell you why, because my parents are terrible cooks. They are. And, bless them, they cannot cook. So I grew up thinking that that's what food tasted like. So when I realized eventually that there was a whole world of amazing food to be had out there, of course I became obsessed. And then I started doing the cooking, and I've loved it since, I was 10 years old. It's just sort of been the thing I like to do to relax. And, this big Canadian Thanksgiving is happening tomorrow, and everyone knows I cook all day. I like to be left alone, and I like to cook all day with my music on and basting my turkey, every hour. And it's my happy place. I love it. So it would definitely be something.
It would be food. Nice.
Yeah.
Next question is from Cassiopeia Kitchens, which is, what tea are you drinking today?
Oh, this is English breakfast. It is. I'm a real purist. I like English breakfast, Irish breakfast. China breakfast is really good if you haven't had that. It's fabulous, delicious.
I've never had China breakfast.
It's so good. I mean, if you're asking me, I think the best tea comes from China. I've had a lot of tea in my day. My husband runs a tea company, so we drink a lot of tea. And, everyone says Darjeeling is the champagne of teas. And I agree. Darjeeling is beautiful. Indian tea is so beautiful. But my favorites have always come from China. They just know what's up. they know how to make a good tea.
Good advice. Cassiopeia Kitchens also apparently submitted a video question,
Oh,
and it didn't get uploaded or something. So I'm sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, Cassiopeia Kitchens, but the video question was, um, what was your favorite thing? What is your favorite thing to cook, and also your favorite genre of music?
My favorite genre of music is jazz, and I'm often listening to jazz while I'm cooking, or if my kid has a movie on in the family room, which is adjacent to our kitchen, I have my headphones in and my jazz going. And my favorite thing, I think I like to cook a good burger. And I do all different kinds. I do beef burgers, salmon burgers. My favorite is a halibut burger.
Mm.
So good. I think that's maybe like lately my top comfort food. I do really good chicken wings. I like cooking chicken wings. I'm always cooking around here. I got a lot of good eaters in this house, so yeah, it's very gratifying.
I don't know if I'm sure everybody's just taking notes of like all the food that we need to try now because you're blowing my mind with a halibut burger and things like
love
that.
the request. Like, it's been so fun since I've, started doing this silly amateur kitchen stuff. It's really fun because people are asking me to, come up with things for them. And I love that. So please keep doing that. I think it's really fun. And, it helps me be creative and come up with a fun way of teaching you how to do something.
That's awesome. Sandra asks, have you had a dinner party disaster? And if so, how did you rescue it?
Oh my God, I have. So this was Thanksgiving, actually, a few years ago, before we did our kitchen reno. So we moved into this house and it has double ovens, which, as someone who loves to cook, I was so stoked on. Like, I saw that, was like, I want this house. But whoever installed the double ovens didn't install them correctly, which I did not know. So the first big dinner party meal we have is Thanksgiving. And I'm so excited to try my double ovens. And I, have the turkey in one and I'm putting my sides in the other one, and the guests are going to show up in half an hour, and it blew a fuse. I guess because both were going at the same time, it blew a fuse and we couldn't figure it out how to get it back together. So we took the turkey out and we dismantled it into drumsticks and breasts and whatever, and I cooked it on the barbecue.
Oh my gosh.
And it worked. Like, it took a little longer, but I saved it. But yeah, I remember my friend Tina coming over and she's like, what happened? I'm like, the fuse is blue, but everything is fine and dinner's going to be great. And she's like, I would be freaking out right now if I were you. I'm like, I am.
With a smile.
I'm also drinking wine, so it's fine. But yeah, that was the worst of all. So when we ran out our kitchen, I was like to the guys, can you please fix this situation? Because I would love to use those double ovens. And now I can. And it's the best.
A double oven is not very useful if you can only run one at a time. So
100%.
Defeats the purpose.
That's what I said.
Sarah is asking, do you watch any cooking shows? And if so, what is your favorite cooking show? MasterChef, Great British Bake Off?
I love Top Chef. I have seen every season of Top Chef, every episode. I love every spin-off that Top Chef has done. I am a huge fan of that show. And everybody knows in this house, when the new season comes on and it's Top Chef night, that's my jam. That's my show, and I'm so excited about it. And then my little boy, during COVID, actually, during the lockdown, we got into the baking shows. So British Bake Off, the Great Canadian Baking Show, and he was as obsessed with it as I was. So we would like sit every afternoon and binge watch seasons of the Great Canadian Baking Show. And he's still into it, which makes me really happy.
Oh,
yeah.
It's good to have that to enjoy together.
I know. It's cute.
Casually, Sandra asks, what do you do for me time?
I read. My favorite thing to do, probably because I don't get to do it very often, is to sit in a quiet room and read. I'm a huge reader. And I'm learning French. So I've been, I think, 4 months now doing a French course. And I love to do that during my me time. And I'm a big fan of naps. It's bad because I think I'm addicted to the nap. Like I need the 20-minute nap every day. And sometimes I don't get it. And I'm really grumpy pants if I don't get it. Because your body gets used to it. Your body gets used to the nap. And I've done it to myself. But yeah, so before my kid gets out of school, I always have like an hour of me time for a tiny little nap and a little book reading, a little French lesson. Like, okay.
What's a good what's a standout recent read of yours?
I just finished Arthur Truelove. Have you read that?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, it's so beautiful and so good, and I was crying reading it. It's just it's a beauty. I love it. It's a feel-good book too.
Awesome. I always love asking people their reading recommendations. So
I'm also reading Betty Gilpin's book.
Okay.
Her memoir. Bye. Have fun. Yeah, Betty Gilpin's book is amazing, and she's so funny, and I'm a huge fan.
Nice.
Long ago. Yeah.
Carrie Saunders actually backs that up with what's your favorite genre to read?
I love memoirs. I don't know. I don't know why. I've always loved reading memoirs, and I've read many of them. And I just find them really interesting, and I love to hear the way people write in their own voice. Yeah, but I love fiction too. I've always got a couple on the go. Like I have I have a downstairs book and an upstairs book. Does anybody else do that? Because I just sometimes just don't want to climb the stairs. So I have like the one on my nightstand that I read every night, and then I have one like downstairs in my little reading nook. It's so lazy of me, but it's fine.
Hey, you're a bit. I mean, it's maybe it's lazy for physical, but like to be reading multiple books at the same time is good for the brain, probably.
Yeah,
so.
I always have like a fiction one going and a nonfiction going.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think I could compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
Nice. Stephen Potter asks, "What's the menu for tomorrow?"
Oh my God. Okay, I love Stephen. I am doing probably too much, but I have a little freak out. I have a little freak out every year that I don't have enough food. I do this silly thing where I do the big shop, and then this morning, I roused the family up and I said, I'm feeling very paranoid that we don't have enough. So we're going back to the store, and we went and we got more. I'm a crazy person, but I'm doing a turkey as always. I'm doing stuffing as always, or dressing, sometimes it's called. And I stuff the bird. It goes in. Some people do their stuffing separate. It's called stuffing. It goes in. And I'm doing gravy with that, of course. And we're going to do Brussels sprouts and rainbow carrots with a little goat cheese, roast cranberries, maple syrup on the top. And I'm going to do a maple mashed yam with pecans, toasted pecan, cauliflower gratin, and I'm going to do some Parmesan crusted fingerling potato. I think that's it. There's probably one more in there. I don't know. And then I have people bringing stuff. Like Zach Smedu from Family Law is such a good cook. And he can't help himself. Like he'll be like, do you want me to bring something? And I'm like, yeah, just bring one thing, okay? Just bring a dessert. That's all I need to watch. He's going to show up with 2 appetizers. Like he's going to go off the rails because he's like me. He's going to worry we don't have enough food.
That's hilarious. That sounds like a Southern Thanksgiving to me. Like I've never been to a Thanksgiving down here that didn't have so much food that it was obscene, basically.
I want it to be obscene. Yeah. I want the spread to be so obscene that people are overwhelmed just by looking at it. That's what Thanksgiving should look like.
Perfect. Last question here before we move on to a different segment. It's from Harris McGrade, and he's asking if you have any YouTube chefs or any cooking channel that you like to tune into. And then he says, I can't get enough of I don't know how to pronounce that.
The foods? I'm going to check that out. I don't know enough about YouTube. But YouTube is one of the things I just haven't had a chance to learn because there's just so many things to keep up with, you know? Like I tackled TikTok last year on a friend's recommendation, and I really quite enjoy it. And it's also, you know, very good at curating things for you. So it's all food videos and animals and, you know, makeup tips and clothes. That's my TikTok. But there's a few people on there that are really, really amazing. Prokuda, I think her name is. She's wild. She makes the most beautiful food, and she's this gorgeous girl. She never talks. Like her videos are mostly silent, and she has black
I've seen some of hers.
gloves on, and she's sort of like this, you know, femme fatale kind of vibe. But her food looks out of control, and I've cooked a couple of things from her before, and they turn out beautifully. So yeah, there's quite a few though on TikTok that are amazing and know exactly what they're doing that I learn from often.
I love it. Yeah, you took TikTok by storm when you came on. So
Oh, wow, I don't know about that, but it's fun. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good, and I'm learning as I go, as you do.
Perfect. I actually realized that I have one more video question for you before we move on. So let me play this for you really quickly. Let me get this out of the way first. All right. Last video question.
No, but really, who is your favorite Firefly cast member?
Sean, it's you, darling. It'll always be you. The fact that he was misting his face slays me because we all make fun of Sean. Sean carries around always a very beautiful bag full of products, and he doesn't care who's watching. He'll whip out an eye cream, like you're like out for dinner, and he's like he's putting on his eye cream. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, my eyes just feel a little bit dry, so I'm like, oh, and his skin is so beautiful. So we just follow, you know, Sean faithfully. Whatever Sean is using is what we use. Because look at him. Like he looks better somehow than he did 20 years ago. But yeah, the misting of his face. Oh my God, I'm dying. That was incredible. Thanks for that.
I figured there would be some explanation as to the large amount of misting that was going on in that video.
He's constantly misting. He mists all the time. And he does it to whoever's around. He's like, anyone want to, like strangers? And they're like, okay. And then he mists them with his hydration spray and his rose water or whatever the hell he's using. Oh my God, killed me. I love these videos so much.
Great. I love to hear it. As we're coming to the end of our time here, I have one more segment for you. It is the lightning round.
Strong work, Tommy.
Strong work, Tommy.
Strong work.
We love you for it. I've always wanted, as an interviewer, to do a lightning round, and I've never done it. So I'm very excited to do this. So it's probably what you would expect. I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
The idea is to give me your answer as quickly as you can, not think too hard and not second guess your answer.
Okay, that's hard, but okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, most of these give you this or this, so not too bad.
Okay,
So.
okay, good. This or this. Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Nice. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I know.
You heard it, everybody.
I have to have one every morning, you see. I have to. And I love tea. I love tea. He's not here anymore. But I mean, I can't ever give up coffee. Don't tell Charlie I said that.
No one tell him, okay? All of you out there.
He knows anyway. It's like traitor.
If you had to sing one song for karaoke for the rest of your life, what song would you pick?
Oh, something by Whitney Houston, probably. I mean,
Mm.
it's like I feel like no, karaoke is done after a cocktail or two. So everybody thinks they're Whitney Houston after a cocktail or two, right? I know I do. I know I do. Probably like I want to dance with somebody,
I was about to
or
ask what song or
a Disney song, Disney princess song maybe. Yeah, something like that.
who's your favorite Disney princess?
Ariel,
Nice.
of course.
If you could have dinner, no, it makes perfect sense. I know we're the same age, and that's probably like one of
Yeah,
my
it's
two
like a
too.
weird thing we all have, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but we all have it. It's in there.
Did most of the kids you grew up with also want to be marine biologists? Was that a thing for you too?
Yeah, I feel like that was trendy for a bit, for sure.
It
Yeah,
was.
it really was. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, she left an impression. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Mhm.
If you could have dinner with 4 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Whoa. It would have to be like a really fun group of people. Anthony
Mm.
Bourdain would be there for sure.
Nice.
Robin Williams. Who else? Oh my God, that's so hard. I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to think about that one. But those
That's
two,
fair.
like that's all you would really need anyways, those two.
I think you could I mean, that's essentially 4 out of those 2 people, I would
Yeah,
say.
and
The
no one would get
personalities of 4 people,
yeah,
so
no one would get a word in edgewise anyway. So,
no.
yeah.
What is your go-to dessert flavor?
I like sticky toffee pudding.
Mm,
It's my all-time fave. Yeah. And on
perfect.
I remember I had a birthday on set and catering made me a sticky toffee pudding. It was one of the best I've ever had.
I like it. If you were a soup, which one would you be?
I really like soup. Is that
Are
weird?
you not a soup person?
I don't know why. Yeah, like it doesn't satisfy me because I have to have a dipper to go in the soup. And then you're not really just eating soup, are you? You're eating a grilled cheese, aren't you? With a side of soup.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Like grilled cheese and tomato soup. But like if I were a soup, I'd probably be like a little bit like heavy, a little bit too much. like a tortellini soup, or like you only need a couple bites of it and then you're really full.
I love it.
Uh,
Tortellini soup.
bit too
Yeah,
much.
it's a good one. Are you a morning bird or a night owl?
Night owl. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes me a while to wake up in the morning, and everybody knows that. Like, just steer clear of her for a bit until she's had her coffee.
So you definitely feel like you're at your best, like at night versus the morning.
Yeah, and I pay for it the next day because I'm tired. But I think every parent can relate to this too. When your kid goes to bed, your me time starts, and it's so delicious that you'll sacrifice feeling well rested the next day just to have more me time.
Yeah. I think it's Sarah. Sarah down there calls it what is time bargaining or something. I forget what she calls it, but it's that like,
Yes.
You're in bed or whatever, you're scrolling TikTok or whatever. You're just
That's exactly what it is. Yes.
If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Oh, speaking other languages.
That's a good one.
I would want to speak as many as possible. Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
learning a new language.
Oh, it's revenge bedtime procrastination.
Perfect.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes.
Good.
Sorry, it does. Yes.
If you had a magic wand for a day, what's the first thing you'd do with it?
Oh, I would probably go around just giving people stuff. What is it that you need? Oh, there you go. You got it.
Out of thin air?
Yes. Like a little giving fairy.
Perfect. You're so nice. Other people would be like, I would give myself all this money or something. But
I got enough going on around here. I'm fine.
Last question. We do want to start a new tradition here, and we're starting it with you, Jewel. So we wanted each special guest to ask some question to our next special guest.
Ooh.
The thing is,
Okay.
you don't know who the next special guest is.
Okay.
So you'd have to ask probably, again, a non-work related question. So
That's fine. This is a question I've always had a hard time answering, but I love hearing other people's answers. Is what's the best advice you've ever received? Right? It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of it myself too.
I can't answer it, but yeah, it's a really good question, isn't it?
Well, this hour has flown by.
It has.
It's been amazing, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh my God.
For coming on, and
my pleasure. And thank you, everybody who joined. I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy to do this. And I hope you had fun.
Yes, we'd love to have you back anytime. Please join us again. I'm going to let you go now because I know you need to get your kitchen ready.
I'm gonna get cooking.
You go ahead and get ready, and I'm going to just give some announcements here to everybody else. Thank you so much, Jewel, again.
I will see some of you soon.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. So I'd just like to take a moment and let you all know about a super exciting event we've got coming up next weekend. If you join the Companion, but also Stargate SG-1 co-creator Brad Wright, but also Dial the Gate, and also Gate World, and Sidetrack, and Three Fries Short next weekend for Stargate Celebration. We're pulling together a massive gathering of Stargate fans to celebrate the franchise that we all know and love. So next Saturday, October 14th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. British time, hop over to the Companions YouTube or Dial the Gates or Gate Worlds or Sidetracks or even Three Fries Short. This event will be simulcast between all of them. Let's celebrate Brad Wright and Stargate with some fandom solidarity, and maybe you'll discover another podcast or channel to add to your subscriptions while you're at it. We have even more amazing events to come throughout the rest of the year and into 2024. So stay tuned and subscribe to the Companions newsletter for all the announcements. Remember, if you are a paid member, you're going to get all of these live stream links as part of your membership. Next week's, though, is completely free because it'll be simulcast over everybody's. If you have a cooking class ticket, you can head over to the Zoom link that you were given. If you aren't cooking with Jewel and you'd like to keep the conversation going, just like our last time, we have a social hour that you can come to as well. So look in the comments for a link. It's the same Zoom link. It'll be posted in the comments as well as this graphic that I'm about to show you. So be patient as you enter those waiting rooms for both events. We will get everyone checked in ASAP. If you can't attend either, I hope to see you next week. It should be a really exciting time. Thank you again, everyone. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening.